Hi guys, how are you? Thanks again for coming and joining me for another video. Today's video is going to be the yearly 2021 reading for Sagittarius. I know this is a little bit late, but I'm sure you guys have been feeling the same type of energy I've been feeling over the last little while with a lot of things from the past coming up, a lot of confusion, a lot of unknowns, a lot of trying to figure out what path to take. And there's been this need to have it all figured out. And for Sagittarians, I don't think you guys have been an exception either. I think you guys are actually going through a very transformative time right now. So let's see what messages are here for Sagittarius signs, sun, moon, and rising for the whole year of 2021. Sagittarius signs, sun, moon, and rising for 2021. As usual, I am using my traditional Rider-Waite deck. And if the messages don't resonate with you right now, that doesn't mean that they won't. This is a very long period of time. It's a year-long reading. So energy is fluid. This could happen at any point. Or maybe for some of you, it's something you're already experiencing now. Okay, last shuffle. Sagittarius, general collective messages for the year 2021. Sun, moon, and rising. Okay, let's see what we have for you guys for this year. Interesting. You guys have some very distinct people in your reading. Interesting. Bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Swords in reverse. Interesting. So we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. We have the Hierophant in reverse. We have the Devil in reverse. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse. We have the Ace of Swords upright. We have the Eight of Pentacles upright. The Knight of Cups in reverse. The Empress card upright. The Eight of Wands upright. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Temperance in reverse. Chariot upright. And we also have the Nine of Swords in reverse. And like I'd mentioned, at the bottom of the deck, we do have the Three of Swords in reverse, followed by the Hermit upright. Interesting reading. I think for a lot of you, this again could be energy that you're bringing into 2021. A lot of you are going through, I think, confusion in terms of something that has to do with your workplace, or a creative project of some sort. I think there's a bit of divided energy that's here in your spread. You're juggling options. You're needing to make a decision about something. Maybe some of you have a lot on your plate in terms of business right now, and you're not quite sure where to place more of, like, majority of your energy. if this doesn't have to do with a job, this could also be juggling some sort of situation regarding a personal relationship that you've placed a lot of yourself into. Like, you've placed a lot of expectations into this relationship, and I think some of you may be experiencing a lack of fulfillment with these cards, a lack of fulfillment in this relationship. If this is a job, maybe you're not as happy and as fulfilled as you would have hoped in this job opportunity, and that's why you might be feeling a little bit stagnant at your workplace, or like you can't choose between something that is already making you money, something that's already stable, versus another side hustle or another creative opportunity that you have to the side. But there's like a need for you to make a decision about something, and you're not really quite sure which direction to go. I'm confused. Like, the energy I'm feeling is really, really confused. Like, you're searching for facts to put in a pro and con list before you make a decision about which way to go. And this, again, could be in the workplace or a creative project. But for some, even though there's no cups necessarily in like the first third of your reading, I'm still getting energy related to a relationship. Something that maybe, like I said, you placed a lot of hopes and dreams into this connection. Maybe that's a better word, connection. Maybe if this is not an intimate love relationship, this could just mean a connection of some sort. There was a lot of hope placed into this relationship, this connection, and it's not necessarily bringing you everything you expected that it would. And now you feel like you're faced with a choice, like you're going to have to make a decision of some sort. With the double energy in reverse, this could be a Capricorn that you're dealing with. Honestly, there's many people here right now. You have the Devil card, you have the Queen of Wands, and you also have the Queen of Swords. All three cards are showing up in reverse. Some of you might be dealing with an air sign, a Gemini, Aquarius, or a Libra. Some of you might also be dealing with a fellow fire sign with a Leo, an Aries, and a Sagittarius. I'm feeling really like winded right now, which doesn't really make sense because I assure you all I'm very well rested before doing this reading, but I find myself very exasperated. And maybe that's how you guys are feeling coming into this year. It just feels like there's been a lot happening, a lot of heaviness, a lot of heavy energy. And with the Ace of Swords, some of you are needing to make a decision based on something involving more than one person. If this is a job opportunity or something related to the workplace, maybe you're working with a team of people in this situation. With you as the fire sign, since this is for Sagittarians, maybe you are working with a Capricorn. Maybe you're working with another air sign, and some sort of decision, some sort of communication, an idea has to come to the surface in order for you to be able to deal with these two people in the correct manner. Maybe some of you are stalling, having to make a decision regarding the partnership that involves these other people. I'm going to pull some clarification cards on this only because I am getting third party energy, and you guys did get the Three of Swords in reverse. For some of you, I don't want to turn this into specifically a love reading because, like I said, there's only really one Cups card that's here right now that's indicating love and relationships to me. But I can't shake the feeling and I need to follow my intuition. And some of you, Sagittarians, may be in some sort of love triangle with a Capricorn or with an air sign. Again, Three of Swords. So there might have been, I think this might have been in the past. This feels like old energy. It's not something that I can confidently say is happening right now. And I think at some point in the year, you will be faced with a situation where you need to travel back into old energy and past situations regarding someone you might possibly be in a relationship with. You could be in a relationship or in some sort of connection with a Capricorn, or maybe you're with an air sign right now, with a Gemini, an Aquarius, or a Libra, and there's something that has to do with a third party situation where there may have been some sort of deception involved, and there's a communication that needs to take place regarding this whole thing. There needs to be some sort of communication. And you also have the 8 of Wands upright, which means even if you're trying to avoid having this major talk with somebody, you will end up having it. It's almost necessary that you have it so that you can set yourself free from feeling betrayed. So you can set yourself free from this thing in the past that may have felt like a deep deception, that really may have caused you some pain and is not in your current space any longer. It's something from your past or something involving someone else's past that is coming back up to the surface for you. And it's something that you are going to need to deal with in order to release it. Because I feel like you're the one that needs the communication. I'm not getting any sense that it's these 2 other people that needs the communication. I think these 2 other people that you're surrounded by, because you're the one in the middle. You're the one in the middle in the spread. I think you're the one that needs to either get something off of your chest or get clarity about a situation regarding a Capricorn and another air sign. And this could possibly have to do with a love connection or something that took place in your past that's still causing you sleepless nights, heartache, trauma. And it's something that needs closure. This is a relationship that you worked really hard on for a period of time. Maybe you have kids with this person. With the Empress card, maybe this person already has children. Maybe there were children involved in that situation. This is very fertile energy. So if you're trying to have kids right now or this year, then there's good luck in that area. If you're not trying, sorry, I don't know if I said if you're trying to have kids or if you're not trying to have kids, because my mind is racing right now. There's so much going on in this spread. If you are trying to have children, then my suggestion would be keep going. This is a great time. You have fertile energy this year. If you're not trying to have children, I would say be a little bit more careful and be mindful of that as you engage in those activities. If this is not related to love, then this could be a beautiful beginning to a new work connection or a creative project. And again, I have to be honest with what I see on the table. I really feel like this involves a relationship, like love of some sort. And I think it's something in the past. You were working really hard on maintaining this connection with either the earth sign or the air sign that's shown up in your reading. And I don't feel like it worked out. Something happened, something came to the surface, and there needs to be communication regarding the thing that had happened, because it's causing disruption in your present time. And there's a need to move forward. There's a need to move forward regarding the situation, because you're the one that's still stuck. You're the one that's still stuck. You're being called to temper yourself. Whoever and whatever the situation is very triggering for you. It reminds you a lot about your own insecurities, maybe other times where you've experienced a betrayal, other times where you felt these 3 negative things, which is the 10 of Swords is ultimate heartache, betrayal, the 3 of Swords, which is third party situation, as well as the 9 of Swords, lots of sword energy, lots of air energy here. There's definitely a Gemini, an Aquarius, or a Libra that's playing a significant role in your life right now. And if this is past energy, you have felt all of these negative emotions before, and there's a need for you to leave the past in the past, get closure on the things that you are still that are still causing you pain and heartache, so that you can move forward. You need to be moving forward now. For some, you might be dealing with a Cancer sign, and that's not what I feel here. What I feel here truly is that there is a Capricorn and an air sign that has had some sort of negative impact in your life, and it's still causing you anxiety, it's causing you stress, it's causing you worry, it's making you feel like you're part of a third party situation again, and it's making you want to take your energy back and reassess and reevaluate your situation. I want to pull some clarification cards because I truly don't feel like this is something new that's going to show up in the year. I think you working on receiving closure, working on developing trust, and you really actually moving on is what your focus is going to be on this year. It's the moving on part that matters. And there's going to be a lot of communication regarding this, and that's text messages, phone calls, emails. Let's pull some cards on the Ten of Swords. What is this Ten of Swords? Okay, so you were dealing with like a very father figure type of person. This is bringing me back to the whole Capricorn energy, because Capricorns are known as being the father figures of the zodiac, but you're dealing with someone who appeared very cold, someone, and I pulled clarification for the Ten of Swords in reverse. So the people that were associated with making you feel that sense of betrayal at that time that it happened, again, the card showed up in reverse. So I am still feeling like this is past energy that's coming back because you never dealt with it enough to get closure for yourself. But I am assuming that this is someone related to your workplace, someone you must have been, maybe have been working with before. I get the sense that this is related to that Capricorn you might be connected to, who appeared very cold, very strong, someone who was a little bit more challenging to speak to, caused you to feel like you had to keep to yourself, like you needed to hold on to whatever it was. You had to hold on to it very close to your chest because there was a Page of Swords, could be an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, who was involved in the situation that made you hold back, that made you keep to yourself, that made you hold on really, really tightly to the things that you considered important. Maybe this was you holding on to the earth sign, or the person who felt like the emperor, who exhibited emperor qualities. You held on to this person really tightly because maybe they were engaging in another connection with an air sign. And this is what caused you to feel as if you were betrayed and experienced a betrayal, a deep betrayal that you're still not over. You're not over it yet. You're not over it yet. Or it's gonna, maybe you feel like you're over it, but something will happen sometime in this year that's gonna cause you to travel back and open up that time and space from this past event that will cause you to need to talk about it again. Something's gonna happen that will make you talk about this past situation again. Let's do the Three of Swords in reverse. Clarification on the Three of Swords in reverse. One more shuffle on the Three of Swords in reverse. Something did not grow the way that you had hoped it would. There was a situation that you gave a lot of time, work, and effort into. You worked really hard and were waiting to receive the fruits of your labor in this connection. And it didn't work out that way for you. It didn't end up working out that way for you. You ended up feeling like you had to fight a lot in order to be seen and heard in this connection. And in the end, even though you fought really hard and were so passionate about this, sure, you were left with the swords, right? Like you had the last word. But if you notice in the card, nobody else is paying attention. No one else is paying attention. But I mean, you are. But how do you fight for something if you're the only one fighting for it? How do you fight for something if you're the only one fighting for it? How do you expect to reap the benefits of your hard work if you're the only one working hard for it? I think whoever else was involved in this conflict, in this possible third-party situation that took place, whoever else was involved, they've moved on. They're no longer interested in having these conversations. However, for some reason, you still do. You're still dealing with what happened back then. But everyone else who was involved in the thing from back then, this might be 2 other people, which brings me back to the third party energy, because the card itself is depicting 3 separate people. They don't care anymore. So why are you still looking back at the people who they're not fighting with you anymore? Right? I think this is a classic case of needing closure to look a specific way, when sometimes you just have to accept the apology that you'll never get. For some of you, this is an old third party cheating, lying, deception situation that happened in the past. And for some reason, it has come up in the present. And for some reason, it's triggering for you guys, and it's making you want to communicate with a person or people about this. For some of you, you could be dealing, like I said, with an air sign, with an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. For others of you, it could be a water sign. I have Cancer here. For others of you, it could be a Capricorn. But you are dealing with people who have moved on. You're stuck. This is old energy. This is old energy that needs to be just swept off the table. Like, you need to it's like me taking my arms like this on the table and just whoosh, pushing all the cards off this table and just starting fresh. There's no sense of renewal happening here in this spread. All of this has to do with the past. And you need to move forward. You need to move forward. Don't allow things that are not beneficial towards you to completely derail your progress this year. And this is not a denial in the pain and heartache that you went through, in the pain, the heartache, the sleepless nights that you went through in the past. I think for some of you, you have already moved on, and something is just going to happen to like trigger the crap out of you and make you revisit the toxic relationship, that didn't work out in your past. Let's pull out these Doreen Virtue cards. Can I just get an outcome card? What is this? Third party devil energy. Third party devil energy. Okay, wow. Let's try that again. These cards don't want to shuffle, so that means this first card is trying to pop out. Okay, really interesting, guys. So you have stay optimistic. It is safe for you to love. And then directly opposite energy is codependency and deception. So this is not a connection that you want to go back to. The codependency and the deception, that's not energy that you want to participate in any longer. And for those of you who are still dealing with the remnants of the past, it's time for you to move on, because you weren't happy in this connection anyway. You weren't happy. It's okay for you to love again. It's actually okay for you to move on. And there's someone else who's meant for you, that's not related to this past energy. There's something else waiting for you at the bottom of the deck, you have keep an open mind. Keep an open mind to the idea that it's not this person, that the core person who is really screwing your energy around right now, that person is not for you. And of course you have free choice. Everyone has free will, so you can choose whatever you want to choose, but there's a pain and a heartache that's already associated to this person, and I get the sense that you're not even in love with them anymore. You don't care about them in that way anymore. I don't see the 10 of Cups anywhere here on this card. You don't even want reconciliation, really. I don't know if this is an ego thing where you're reluctant to move forward because you want to hear I'm sorry said a specific way. And if that's the case, I strongly encourage you all to just let go. It's not worth it. It's not worth opening up a can of worms that seems like it's already been done and over with from before, if all it's going to do is cause you to be more upset and prevent you from moving forward in your life. Because this was supposed to be a yearly general reading. And obviously for a lot of you, this might not resonate. But for the people who do resonate with this, the Sagittarians who do resonate with this, you can just choose to move forward. You don't need an apology. You don't need an extra conversation. That is all made up in your mind. If the conversation is not going to lead to anything productive, why are you going back to the past to open up that can of worms when you've already gone through it? You already experienced this deception. This is not new energy. It already happened. Just make a decision to move forward. Choose. No more juggling. Turn this card upside down. No more juggling. You either move forward and forgive the person and move on with your life, or choose to stay stuck. There's two choices. Either way, you don't need the other individual to help you make this choice. This is your own personal individual choice, and it's time for you to make it. If you don't end up making that choice this year, you're going to spend a lot of time back in this energy. You're going to spend a lot of time feeling like this again. But you already felt this before. Why would you choose to do this to yourself again? Nobody likes feeling this way. Nobody likes feeling this way. I'm frustrated for you guys because you have so much potential. And I would hate for you all to waste another 365 days thinking about something that's already happened and something that you can no longer change. Focus yourselves and your energy on something that is in the present, something that you can contribute to and that lights you up and that makes you happy. All of these things, everything that's shown up here on this spread, in this spread, none of these things make you happy. So then don't choose it. You don't need to engage in this energy anymore. It's over. It happened already. So I really hope this resonates with some of you. If it didn't resonate with you, I'm very sorry. I would suggest that you watch your rising sign or your moon sign for your yearly reading. I'm wishing you all the best of luck. Remember that your life is not defined by the actions of other people. You also have an equal say as to where you take your life this year. If you want to be stuck in old negative energy, old fighting, things that happen that you can no longer change, then absolutely you can choose that. And you can also choose to forgive without hearing the apology that you think you need in order to move forward. All right, guys, I hope this resonated with you, and I will see you guys later. Bye.